Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. I wanted to sort of urgently make this video addressing your car getting unlisted on Turo due to safety recalls. This has been a crazy hot topic in my private community, which if you want to check out, the link is in the description down below. A bunch of my members, at least half a dozen or so, are experiencing their Mercedes-Benzes of all different classes get unlisted on the Turo platform because of an open safety recall. So I wanted to address this issue and kind of give you guys a little bit of perspective on this because I know many of you guys are experiencing this right now because it is so widespread. So we've been discussing a bunch of different solutions and really what to do if you face this issue. So let's go over what's happening. This is not something new to the Turo platform. It's something that I started experiencing really a couple years ago. And sure enough, as luck would have it, it was also with my Mercedes-Benz. And at that time, a few years ago, it was with my E450. Safety recalls are a really difficult thing to deal with because there's not much that you can do as a host until the brand has a fix in place for the issue that's at hand. And the thing is that whenever there is an open safety recall, it gets filed with sort of the national recall database, which syncs up to Turo's system. And basically what happens is every single morning, Turo's system will link up with the safety recall database and they'll match up VIN numbers that are listed on their platform. If your car is one of the ones that has an open safety recall, it will automatically get unlisted off the platform. And it makes sense. Obviously, Turo doesn't want to have cars that have open safety issues on the platform, and having people in those vehicles, it can be a dangerous situation. However, with the recent safety recalls going on with the Mercedes-Benzes, it's been sort of a software issue, and not all recalls are made equal. So sometimes it can be frustrating, especially when it's not a serious issue, when your car is unlisted and there's nothing Turo can do and there's nothing you can do until the repair is in place. So I'm sure, I try to look at it from the point of view of Turo as well. Hopefully they figure out a workaround because it has to be at a loss for them as well, especially when there is a widespread mass recall like the one that's going on with Mercedes-Benz right now. All these cars getting unlisted off of their platform, it's not going to fare well for them for business reasons, right? They're losing out on money. You guys are losing out on money. Now, one of the things that I recently read about the Mercedes-Benz recall that's going on right now, something that you guys might want to check out is if you have the Mercedes Me Connect app, you may be eligible for an over-the-air software update which could resolve the open recall that you have. I believe you still have to go to the dealer to get this taken care of, but at least there is a chance that it may work. Now, what happens if you are in this position? First of all, try not to stress out because there's nothing you can really do other than wait it out, and that fix will come, and hopefully sooner than later. If you are one of the hosts that's dealing with the current software recall with the Mercedes-Benz, definitely go download that Mercedes Me Connect app and see if you can get that over-the-air update, and hopefully that resolves your issue. Other than that, you just want to really keep in touch with your dealership and stay on top of them for that fix. Oftentimes what happens is a recall goes into effect and the dealership doesn't even have the fix registered in their system, so even they can't do anything about it. So you just have to be really diligent in keeping on top of what's going on, and when that fix does become available, you want to grab that first appointment so that you can get it taken care of. Now, for those of you guys that are just thinking about getting into the Turo platform and listing a car, and this is something that I advise my members on a weekly basis when it comes to figuring out what car to list, please, I cannot caution you enough. Do not list a Mercedes-Benz anytime soon. This is not a new issue. This is something that's been going on for a long time. And this particular brand is notorious for recalls. And so unfortunately, when you list a Benz on the platform, in my opinion, there is just way too much financial risk because when my car got unlisted back in 2019, the E450, it took months before there was a fix set in place, and you're going to incur that cost if you have a no on that vehicle. So it's just too risky to list a Mercedes-Benz on the platform. Many of my members have listed Mercedes-Benzes, so now we are having to explore other options of how they can get out of that car or figure out a way to how they can cover those payments because of this open recall. So if you want to check out my community, I host weekly live calls. We discuss Turo strategies. I help troubleshoot situations like this, and we really stay on the pulse of what's happening in the Turo universe, and we really work hard on solutions so that everyone can continue to stay revenue positive, keep getting your cars rented out, and really turning a profit. I have some helpful links in the description below if you are experiencing that Mercedes-Benz issue. I know a lot of my members, they have an A-Class, a GLC, a C-Class, so it is just really all over the map with these recalls. Anytime you go into listing a car, one thing I do, a tip that I want to share with you is please do a little research on the recall history of that brand or that model. You can just simply go research the National Recall Database, do a Google search, read the forums, and you can gather enough information to figure out the history on a car and sort of what is typical in terms of recalls. I've had many cars that I've never seen a recall on, but Benz just happens to be one of those. And another really common one is Range Rover as well. They often have recalls. So before you list a car and you make that major step and commitment towards the Turo platform, please do a little bit of due diligence in figuring out if your car is prone to recalls, because that could end up being a giant loss for you, and you don't want to get stuck with having that type of a risk on your shoulders. It's a terrible position to be in. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully this helps out some of you guys if you're considering listing a Mercedes-Benz. Don't do it. I will update you guys if I hear otherwise and when I think that it's a good idea to list one again. This is exactly the reason why I personally got out of listing Mercedes-Benzes, because it was just too much unknown, too much variability, and too much risk. If you're interested in learning about the Turo platform and how it all works from A to Z, from figuring out what car to list, how to turn a profit, where to build your margins, check out my description below. You can get access to my course and community. Thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, my name is Saimah. This is Saimah's Experience, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Be well, everybody.